I'm gonna give the people a few seconds to kind of adjust your eyes, because I get it. You see the three of us. And I
Mm-hmm.
know it's been a couple of weeks since you've seen the three of us. So go ahead and adjust your eyes. You know, now that your eyes are adjusted, quick tag. Let's
Tell you,
do
man,
this.
we treat the viewers how Jaeger treats his women because they say give us what we want, and then we fuck around and give them what they need. See, that's this is
Exactly.
what Jaeger does.
But to
You
give
haven't
the
known.
introductions,
I mean, I
I'm
might be a little
going
rougher about it, but
exactly. To give the intros, ScooterRay, aka Magic Scoot Lee, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bombastic, The Average Gamers, aka Tag,
Mm-hmm.
aka We In This Bitch,
We
aka
are. We are.
Let's Talk About AEW Dynamite's Beach Break.
Beach break.
beach break.
All right, so thoughts and feelings. How we feeling about Beach Break as a whole? Before we
Uh,
break it down segment by segment by segment.
better than Battle of the Belts for damn sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get what I expected I was gonna get because you know Cleveland and you know the possibility of certain debuts could have happened, but I think
The
it would have
whole
been a given.
time, the whole time I was wondering how would that debut happen.
Same.
I mean, the fans were chanting for it, and I thought we were gonna get it
Mm-hmm.
But we got
right.
another Cleveland native
We
instead,
did. We did.
We did.
and that Cleveland native is officially all elite at that.
Oh, for
Wait,
real?
what?
Okay,
Yep.
dope. Dope
But
shit.
we'll get into it.
Yes, we will.
First things first. TNT champion Cody Rhodes versus interim TNT champion Sammy Guevara in a ladder match. I had low hopes for this, but them boys
We
ramped it up.
got there.
No, 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 no. Considering who was in it and
Mm-hmm.
considering why this match was happening, I had low hopes. But you know what this match reminded me of? Remember when Andrade went against Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship?
Yes.
Mhm.
And then that match started off slow, and then somewhere in the middle, it just
Mm-hmm.
ramped up, and it was like, oh shit, what am I seeing?
Yep.
That's what happened with this match. It started off like a wrestling match. And I'm like, fam, this is a goddamn ladder match. What are y'all doing? And all of a sudden, it ramped up and
It did.
it
It
not let
did.
up. And I
Yes,
was
it
like,
did.
yes, yes.
I was definitely pleased with this match. It's probably one of the better ladder matches that I've seen in a long time. Mainly because they did one thing that a lot of these fucking ladder matches just fail to do. They made the little things count and they made shit make sense because
Mhm.
from the beginning, everybody's climbing up this ladder fast as fuck. And
Yes.
everybody's getting to their spots fast as fuck.
Yep.
And as the match progressed, as they took bigger spots, they start climbing up the ladder slower and slower up until the point. And I'm just like, thank you. Fucking
Mhm.
thank you. Um, I think the right man won on this one.
Yes.
I
Agreed.
wasn't expecting it, but when it happened, I was like, you know what? It makes sense.
Oh no, I was shocked. I said to Ashley, which shout out to Ashley. Her only gripe she had about the match, she was like, Sammy's recovery time is amazing. Like he was
I
recovering
mean,
pretty fast from his spots. But
look at Cody's when freaking Sammy dropped on him from 12 feet up.
oh no, I said that. I said Cody was going to recover enough to pull him down. But the moment Sammy pulled both of them belts down, I was like, oh shit, wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shouts out to Sammy because you put your body on the line in multiple spots,
Yes.
and it must be pretty cool to be a nimble small guy like that. Because to do the ladder jumps to hit the cutter,
Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful cutter.
Yeah.
it was to do
Great
the
cutter.
spot where you took the crossroads from the ladder,
Mm-hmm.
and to do a senton off a ladder. Jesus,
Oh, and
Sammy
then
G was
the
definitely
forward suplex in on the upside down ladder in the middle.
yes.
Mm.
Sammy G was definitely MVP. That rhymed of the
Oh,
night.
bars.
So now I said at first I didn't see why this feud needed to happen if Sammy was going to get the belt back, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming they want Scorpio Sky to take the belt off of Sammy rather than Cody. Because if Scorpio Sky don't win that title, then what the fuck was all of this for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely got foreshadowing out of that with
Yeah.
Sammy and Lambert there. But god damn it. I really want Sammy to win it, but at the same time, like I mean Scorpio to win it, but I really want Sammy being the hometown hero to keep that belt for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it all depends on when they finally book Scorpio Sky and Guevara.
Oh yeah,
I
that
mean,
is true because they never set a date for it.
Scorpio
But
just said I'm next. Like he just said I'm watching and I'm waiting. So we don't even know when it's gonna be booked. So I'm pretty sure they might give Sammy at least a good week, maybe 2, before they actually do it. But
let them go ahead and get 2 more defenses, man.
yeah,
Just
I
to
can agree
kind of
with that.
solidify some shit. Because I would rather the story be Scorpio thinking that Sammy's ducking that challenge than to just automatically have Sammy go up against Scorpio and then lose like that quick. And it had it not been for Cody taking the belt off of him, that would have been like, you know what, this is perfectly fine. But because he just pretty much got it back, and he's been defending it, but at the same time, it's just
So with that, I guess that technically makes Sammy a 3-time champ, along with Cody, 3-time champ.
Are they counted as 3 though with the interim?
He said it when he came out and did the cue card things. He said he held up 3. So I'm assuming that makes him a 3-time champ.
Okay, fuck it. I'm down with it. Sammy says,
hey,
with
the interim and now winning it undisputed. So I guess that makes him 3-time champ.
Go ahead.
Any more thoughts before we move on?
Nah, the fantastic ladder match. One hell of a way to start off the show.
Jaeger?
Yeah, it was a great match.
All right,
I'm ready. I was ready to see Cody go full on heel though when
Me too.
when Fuego showed up.
Now with that promo from last week.
Yeah, right. Mr. King of the Dramatics.
I'm with
I was totally waiting for that heel turn to really solidify, but you know, it stayed civil.
We'll get there.
All right. Next up on the show, we had a promo from Team Taz and the Freezing Code on the beach. Basically, Powerhouse Hobbs want to run it back with Dante. Ricky Starks has challenged Jay Lethal for the FTW Championship. So we'll be getting those 2 matches. I think Starks and Lethal are next Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
No. Next Friday.
Next Friday? Okay. And I don't know when Hobbs and Dante's supposed to run it back. So they didn't announce that one. But yeah, so with that being said, future predictions. Does Lethal get that belt off of Starks?
I think it will be the right call. But the only way that I would see Starks winning is if they're going to run it back and then Lethal actually get that win.
Okay.
But yeah, and as far as Hobbs and Martin, I mean, all right.
Yeah. All right.
And Hobbs, my dude.
My guy.
What's up with the overalls in that coat, man?
Why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Not gonna lie, I like those overalls as his ring gear, but because I'm tired of seeing the hot Cheeto look.
Think about it though. Shit.
Yo, come on now! Don't tell me that it doesn't look like it.
It does, but like, keep it real. Keep it real. If you see a big buff dude like Hobbs in some overalls and a jacket like that walking down the street, you ain't gonna be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go on that side.
Yeah, because anybody crazy enough to wear that combination is not somebody to be fucked with. So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're trying to look like Lucas. He's trying to look like, what is his name? American Gangster crossing with Green Mile. It's just kind of hilarious there.
Let me go ahead and go on that side because this dude got on some overalls. It's cold as shit. And he got this thick ass jacket on. I'm going over here.
Like he cares absolutely zero about his nipples. It's
so just, damn sure ain't gonna care about me.
Exactly.
But man, Tony
Khan, I like my nipples. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
exactly.
Exactly. Damn it, I forgot his name.
There's no fun in it.
Oh, if fucking Schiavone is talking about his hand frozen to the mic, you know damn well his nipples are frozen to his overalls. Just saying.
Oh shit. All right. Next up, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but they had to include the hometown boy. We got Warlow versus Elijah Dean and James Alexander.
I didn't
I
realize they
don't
had
know who
names.
was who, but Warlow with the
It didn't
Powerbomb
matter.
Symphonies match over.
Yeah, I mean, good on Wardlow. I mean, I wish this would have been a segment where you had Sean Spears like run past him after he said no, and then still
thought
go
that
hit
was gonna
them.
happen.
Yeah, I thought it was too, and that would have made more sense to me because then it would have started showing more of the turn for Wardlow.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen. So for me, it was like, all right, this happened.
basically. All right. Next up, we got the Inner Circle versus Daniel Garcia and 2.0. Going into this match, Santana and Ortiz had their little beef with Jericho about, we need to start looking out for themselves. Maybe Kingston was right. Why we haven't been tag team champs, so forth and so on. So we've already had the dissension with that going on. Of course, Garcia and 2.0 picking the spots on beating them up almost every week and shit. So the match started off with it. Jericho tried to start it off. Santana was like, nah, fam. We told you before, we got this. You keep your ass out there, Chris. We got this. And for the most part, that's how the match went.
They fucking committed to that too.
Yeah.
They were very committed to it. Very committed. But the match ended with Jericho kind of waiting in the wings, and it kind of turned into a 3-on-2. 2.0 was trying to go for their finisher. Jericho pulled Parker out the ring. Then when was it Santana or Ortiz that was in the ring?
It was Ortiz.
Ortiz. When Ortiz pushed Lee into the ropes, Jericho hit the Judas effect.
Yeah.
Pile driver 1, 2, 3. Inner Circle technically wins, and they was doing a bunch of jaw jacking. Inner Circle and Santana and Ortiz to each other. I couldn't make out what they were saying, but we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, this one is another one that was the right call. I'm glad because I've been saying this shit is for nothing if they're not going this direction, and they're doing it in a way that actually makes more sense now. Because if you think about the whole match, how Santana and Ortiz were tagging each other and not tagging Jericho, it makes sense for Jericho to respond like that and to basically say, okay, well, you guys couldn't win this shit without me anyway, so fuck it.
Yeah.
So I like how they're not just playing it one-sided. Like they're showing, okay, Santana and Ortiz have a legitimate gripe with Eddie kind of getting in their head, but Jericho may have a gripe in this as well because it's like he really hasn't either said anything. It's just implied that he hasn't really cared about him. So I like this.
Yeah.
Same.
Jaeger?
No, this is no, like Lip just said, it was a nice little touch that Jericho gave the little kiss of death to him on there because like it still keeps them semi-unified and like Jericho has a little point to prove like, hey, you needed my help in the end. Like, but to be fair, they can always come back with the well, if you weren't like fucking around with us while we were trying to have a match, then we wouldn't have needed your help. So it'll keep the bickering going in a good way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking to find. I don't want to sound bitter in saying it, but I'll be a little bit happier if the Inner Circle splits up.
For now, yeah, I'm down. Yeah. And
shout
out to 2.0 because that's the perfect example of somebody getting signed and not being shot to like the top of the card and them basically making their own way because they are fucking complete utility players in the best way possible. So shout out to them because I'm still a 2.0 bro.
I mean, everybody got to get a taste,
I mean, my namesake of tonight is from Matt Lee, so
and that shit's magic that they're producing.
Magic. All right, next up, we got Archer and friends, Jake the Snake Roberts and Dan Lambert, issuing their challenge to Hangman Adam Page, which I predicted. I think we all predicted that this was going to be the match that was going to happen. And the challenge to Hangman Page is the AEW Championship and the Texas Death Match.
I liked Hangman's little surprise look there when they said, "Hey, by the way, it's been announced that it's going to be a Texas death match." He's like, "What?" You know what? Fine, let's do it.
This would have Hangman's reaction would have made sense if Archer wasn't 1-1 with Texas Death matches in AEW.
Yeah.
If he had like 2-3 Texas Death matches and he was undefeated in them, then the reaction would have been better. But since he's 1-1 in Texas Death matches, well, granted, the second Texas Death match, he did win the IWGP United States Championship from it. But if he was undefeated in Texas Death matches, the reaction would have been better for me.
Well, and that's one of the main problems with Archer, because even if he is 1-1, like, I think what they're trying to do is go off like the viciousness that he, exudes when he's in a death match.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that symbolizes that, because of how they've handled like this one. This is one of the people that AEW has handled poorly for the most part, because Lance Archer being presented the way that he was with Jake the Snake in the beginning, and then having the nickname, having the theme song, having all that, the whole packaging, it made it seem like, okay, this is the guy not to be fucked with. But as things kind of went on, and them not making the necessary calls with him has kind of watered him down to where it's like, even right now, I'm not even looking at this as a serious challenge. Like, win, lose, or draw, I'm like, I don't care about this match, because I don't care about Archer, because I don't see him as a legit threat at the moment because of the way that he's been handled. Because every time he's gotten on screen outside of winning the TNT title, sorry, not TNT, but the United States title, it hasn't really been anything of note. And he just seems to be that guy that comes in and it's like, oh yeah, this motherfucker, oh, womp, 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 and then that's it.
Basically.
And that's why with this situation, when he came out to challenge him, they're trying to make it seem like, oh fuck, he's here. And it's like, I'm looking at it like, oh, word, this is gonna be Hangman's challenge. Like, okay, well, I guess we got a filler episode. So all right, what's next?
Jeez.
And that's the problem. And I don't want to feel like that, because I believe he deserves more. And this is why I believe they fucked up with putting that title on Cody in the beginning and not putting it on Lance Archer. So
got a point there.
But yeah.
Now, if I can make a take, not necessarily hot, but AEW may not be the place for big men, just because of how they've been handling them in recent history. Right. Look at how they've been handling Brian Cage. Look at how they've been handling Lance Archer. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Rest in peace. But they didn't really handle Brody Lee that well either.
I will say that they handled him perfectly with winning the TNT title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Winning the title, yes.
And I think and the stuff he did with Hangman, I think those are like the two main things that they did. But I think everything else with Cody that he did was okay. But I think the wrong man went over at the second time when Cody won the title back. Now, they could have done stuff better later on. Nobody knows, because, unfortunately, I think the only person that they're handling perfectly as far as big man wise would be Wardlow, because even Hobbs, you look at Hobbs had a promising start, but then kind of fizzled out. And I think that's been their thing. Is like they'll have a perfect start, but then they'll fizzle out along the way, because I don't think they know how to continuously book big men. So yeah, Yeager might have a point.
Yeah. Any more thoughts about this before we?
Nah, I'm ready for it to be over.
Okay. I can share that sentiment.
Yeah.
All right, next up, we get a promo backstage where we got Jurassic Express and Christian Cage, Matt Hardy and Private Party, and they had a little challenge.
Hey, of the AHFO, excuse me.
The
You know what? I'm
AHFO.
gonna let y'all take this away because you know I don't care about the HFO, and I damn sure don't give a shit about the AHFO. So I'm gonna let y'all talk about it.
You know what? I am going to second scoot on this one. I really don't give a shit about the AHFO. I think this was
I really don't
fucking
either.
horrible for Andrade to even like there. I don't think there's a way to fix this because I don't see a combination of people that works with Andrade in this manner. Nothing. I can't even like fantasy book anything because it just doesn't fucking make sense.
At
You
all.
know, it made more sense for Andrade to have like a fucking payment plan with MJF for FTR. That shit made more sense to me. This shit is just what the fuck. I mean, this
Yeah.
segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this. I will say this to speak on the subject.
Mhm.
I'm happy for Private Party, but unfortunately, we know Private Party is not about to take them belts
Yeah, the
off of
only thing I'm
Jurassic
hoping.
Express.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm only hoping that this actually revitalizes everybody's outlook on Private Party. Like they have a fantastic match, and then their stock goes up. But other than that, I'm not really. I mean, I don't expect them to win. I just hope that they have a good showing, like they did with the Bucks, and then go from there, and then maybe capitalize off on it. But I mean, if it's not that, then I damn sure don't give a shit. This is on a lower tier than fucking Lance Archer.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we get an extended segment because they canceled. They pushed back the FTR versus Brock and Big Shotty. So, and you can tell this lasted longer than it needed to. We get CM Punk and MJF.
Oh yeah, you could feel that it lasted longer than it needed to.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
the way MJF was talking, you could tell he was stalling for time.
yeah. It was that, and some of the pauses that they did too. That I was
Yeah.
just like, yo, MJF never pauses this fucking long. Like he never
No.
paces like that. All like it was just like, all right, um, I
So if I'm going off of the old wrestling tropes,
mm-hmm.
sometimes WWE, sometimes Impact, AEW, sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. But if I'm going off of the old wrestling trope, I was all for MJF winning until the whole inner circle came out there and jumped him. And since
Yeah,
this match is next week, it's like, well, the trope is you got your ass beat the week before, most likely you're going to win next week.
Mm-hmm.
And they could pull the swerve because it is hometown. Maybe MJF can still get over, but I don't know. With the beatdown happening, I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah. They're
this
gonna they're gonna be
go
in
ahead, Jacob.
Chicago. They're gonna be in Chicago next week, right?
Next
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, yeah.
Oh no, Punk ain't losing. Come on now.
Yeah, but I say if it wasn't for it was in Chicago, I mean, no, even with them being in Chicago, I could see Punk losing, but I
Yeah,
can't see Punk getting beat down 2 weeks in a row. I can't see him getting
Yeah,
beat down this week and then taking a pinfall loss and taking his first pinfall loss next week.
I'm thinking that Wardlow turns face next week.
That could happen.
that in itself probably because I was trying to mow it over in my head, trying to figure out like what would actually make up for it. And if Punk does win, then the only course of action that you can have that actually makes up for it is if Wardlow turns his back on MJF, because then you can set up that program for now and then set up, a Punk MJF feud later on where MJF gets that win back.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is though, if MJF does lose, does that fuck up his stock though?
In this sense,
Uh,
yes. I personally feel yes in this sense because you it's hard to be a Miz like character when you can't win certain feuds.
Yeah.
And you can't be your company's biggest heel. And when you technically go against I don't want to call him the ultimate good guy, but the guy that you kind of the the guy who's returned after 7 years, who you've been beefing with now for like a good solid month, you end up losing. Now, Punk stock won't hurt
No, not at all.
if he loses, but I feel MJF will.
That's why you have Wardlow cause the loss, and
That
that
could
way it
save it.
doesn't. Yeah.
That could save it with Wardlow causing the L. Oh,
Hmm.
and I do want to give an official apology to the Pinnacle. Y'all made it out of 2021.
Mm.
You know, I said y'all wasn't gonna.
I forgot you said that shit a long time
I'm
ago
not
too,
gonna
because you
lie.
damn sure said
So,
that too.
so, AKA no face, no case. You know,
I
like
mean, you
No,
just issued the
that was them.
apologies, though.
That was them.
it's really a shame we don't know who beat up Darby Allin. Like it's a shame.
No,
Like, that is
we do
criminal.
know. It's a shame
I
that they just
mean,
won't acknowledge the fact that that's what it was.
It is criminal that we don't know who those 5 dudes that beat
No,
up
it's
Darby Allin
criminal
at
yeah,
one
that you
time.
keep saying that it wasn't
I'm
them.
just saying, no face, no
ignorance is
case.
bliss for fucking Scooter over here, man.
No face, no case. Next up, we got the
Nice segue.
Acclaim. They were backstage. Bowens is officially challenging Moxley to a match at Rampage. I will say this, though I'm loving the Acclaim, and though I have no issues with Men of the Year, I'm loving the way they're booking Moxley at the moment.
Yeah, same.
They're
Yeah.
booking Moxley to kind of get him back acclimated, and that way he's not having these truly high profile feuds and high profile matches. And when he's ran through about a good maybe 4 or 5 of these guys, then we got the American Dragon waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
I was about
So
to say, didn't Danielson issue a challenge?
he didn't issue the challenge. He was out there when Moxley beat Page. He was clapping it up for him. So he hadn't officially issued the challenge yet.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure probably the same thing is going to happen once he beats Bowens. Danielson will be right there clapping it up for him to kind of keep sowing the seeds until Moxley is like, "Yo, fam, what's up? Why are you out here?" And then Danielson's gonna be like, "Hey, say, fam, remember we were supposed to fight in the finals, and you dipped out on me." Speaking
Yeah.
of, let's discuss it for a quick second. I was gonna bring it up on Tag Me In, but we're here. How do y'all feel about what Bully Ray said about Moxley?
It
That Moxley owes the fans an apology
For what?
for
and
him going into rehab and alcohol treatment. Bully Ray said Moxley owes the fans an apology. He had a long soliloquy about it, but he said on his podcast, on that Busted Open Radio,
Yeah.
that Moxley owes the fans an apology. Renee has spoke against it by saying, bad take. Um, Another woman, I want to say it was
I
Paige.
don't disagree with that, it being a bad take.
Paige, I think, came out and said, I think it was Paige, said, "Now you see why we choose Devon over you." Uh, but
That's
yeah,
pretty
so
good.
that was Bully Ray's take that Moxley owes the fans an apology for going to rehab.
I'm not going to disagree with the bad take on that.
It was a horrible take.
yeah, no,
Horrible
it was because this is again, Lordy. Mount Hushmore
Lordy.
is like, and I'm gonna keep saying this fucking slogan
Yes.
because everybody keeps opening their fucking mouth when it's not necessary. Look,
Yes.
sometimes it's best just to shut the fuck up because this is the
Yeah.
thing. There's not one person who asked for a fucking opinion. And my thing is this: if this man had an issue and he didn't bash anybody along the way, he didn't do anything wrong to anybody. He felt he had an issue and he ejected himself from a situation before it got worse. So technically, if you think about it, he did not only himself a service, he did the people around him a service by recognizing that he had an issue
Absolutely.
and then taking
Yep.
himself out. He doesn't owe anybody an apology for removing himself because he could have. Because let's take this into consideration. Let's just say for the sake of hypotheticals that he decided to continue drinking and then pulled a fucking Jeff Hardy at Victory Road with Sting. And
Oh my
and, and,
God,
and,
yeah.
and it had to be worse where he was drunk and then ended up hurting somebody and doing more damage to somebody else because he didn't recognize. So then would you sit here and say, oh, he should have got out sooner? What would be the case then? I think that sometimes if it's not your fucking issue, it's okay not to have a fucking opinion. You can
It
just
really
leave the
is.
shit alone and just let shit happen
You know
because there's
what?
not. Go ahead.
To tie this full circle, I'm not going to mention the comments. It's kind of like what the baby has said on stage at Rolling Loud last
Mhm.
year, and all the artists was like, it's okay to just say thank y'all for coming out. I'm the baby. Peace. Bully Ray could have just simply said, I'm glad to see Mox back. I'm glad to see he's doing healthy. Peace.
Yeah.
It's okay to just, you don't have to deliver a hot take for the sake of just
Trying to
doing
get
it.
heat.
It could just simply been like, I'm glad Mox is back. He's looking healthy. Because they've been
Mhm.
showing comparison pictures between before Mox
Oh
left
yeah.
and Mox
Oh
now.
yeah.
So he could have been like, I'm glad Mox is back. He delivered a very passionate promo. Glad he's doing healthy. Glad he's back. You didn't have to. All that other shit was unnecessary.
And
Completely.
and just one more thing on it too. With the character that Mox is, because he still has to go on and portray that character. The promo that he delivered made
Sound like an
so much
apology to me.
sense. Made so much sense for his, because it's like the same thing. Like if you have a hard ass person that you know in your life, is that one person who doesn't apologize, who doesn't really get sentimental about shit, but they have their own way of saying things, and you kind of understand because you know that type of person. Mox's promo was basically like that. If you listen to it, it's like, okay, you know what? That's about as heartfelt as it's gonna get. So
Yeah.
let's roll on with it from there. Fan fucking tastic.
Fan fucking tastic. Yeah,
So
you got anything to add to it?
No, man, Bully Ray is on. He just needed to just be quiet. He didn't need to
Well,
give an opinion. He just like could have
so
said, "Hey, glad you're back," and been done with it.
and call it a day. So I'm gonna say this, people, for the sake of disbelief, we know Mount Rushmore has 4 faces, but our Mount Rushmore, I feel like it's gonna keep adding.
oh yeah.
We just
Yeah.
added Bully Ray to Mount Rushmore.
I
So
mean, look, and they may not stay on there. It'll be a rotating roster.
yeah,
We
but
just had, but Book and the fans, Booker T and the fans have been on there on multiple occasions.
oh no, the fans are permanent. They're
Yeah, for
permanent.
some odd reason they just stay
Yeah,
on
they're
there.
permanent.
The
Oh yeah.
IWC is fucking weird.
Speaking of, since we on here,
Hmm.
you know how we do the fuck Bruce Mitchell thing? I'm going to say this because I don't think we got a chance to record since it happened. Fuck you to that fan, whoever screamed that shit out to Moxley.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. I
He
don't
called that
know
man
why
a
he
drunk
said what
piece
he
of shit.
said.
A drunk piece of shit?
That's
Was
what
he
he.
straight edge?
No, he called Moxley a drunk piece of shit.
No, I'm saying was a dude
Yeah,
that said it straight edge, because I
I
don't.
don't know, but fuck you to that guy who screamed that shit out, knowing that man went to rehab and treatment for that shit.
Mhm.
So fuck you. Because I know Yeager and I discussed it, that the fact that Moxley dropped that
Call
F
him a
bomb on
drunk.
TV, but
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you
well
right now,
deserving. Well
in, at
deserving.
at a multitude of wrestling shows, there are plenty of drunk pieces of shits out there.
So
I will let you know right now. Me and Yeager were drinking heavily when we went to the Royal Rumble, so we were some drunk pieces of shit. So it's not easy. There's plenty. There's plenty.
so
All trust me, we would have been one of the first 2 people to help escort that motherfucker out of there.
You goddamn right. You
but
goddamn
yeah,
right.
moving right along with Beach Break, we
Anyway,
had Julia Hart back there with Griff Garrison, and she was trying to cut a promo about, her eye and whatever, and then smart Mark Sterling comes up and says, "Hey, Jade is picking you to be her new challenger for the TNT Championship. Sorry, the TBS Championship."
for
Griff
that
was
bitch
like,
show.
right? Griff was like, "Hey, yo, Julia, you think you should do this with your eye?" She was like, "Hey, yo, say fam, I don't need you to fight my battles. I got this. I got this,
Wait,
my
was that
guy."
Griff or Brian that said that?
No, it was Griff. It was just Griff and her.
It kind of
Brian
would have
was
been more poetic if Brian said it, because then she
right,
could be like, "Bitch, where were you on your last match?"
right. But now Brian wasn't even there. So Friday, we're going to get Julia Hart versus TBS champion Jade Cargill.
Straight
Jade
squash match.
Cargill is going to get that W. It's not a
Yeah.
spoiler. It's a
Yeah, it's not, yeah, that absolutely.
No, yeah, Tony Khan didn't tell us shit. We just come on.
yeah. That's given. Next up, I don't know how Jaeger's gonna feel, but we had legit Layla
Hey,
Hirsch.
we can just skip past this. You know, we don't have to go into the
All right, well,
details.
Layla Hirsch gets the W. She tries to get some
God
extra.
damn it! I said we could
I'm,
skip.
I'm, I'm, trying to, I'm trying to get past it. Hirsch gets the W. She tries to attack Velvet. Statlander comes out, chases Hirsch away. That's how the match ended. We
Well,
don't have
hold on.
Go
Yep.
ahead.
First off, we gotta put some respect on these new nicknames because
Okay.
Chris Statlander didn't graduate. She didn't graduated.
She has.
She is now Legs Statlander.
Right?
Yo,
Where the fuck? You know what? She was wearing them kick pads the whole
Yep.
time, and we
Yeah.
never knew. Leg Statlander. Yeah, I don't know what planet they bred those at, but
probably the same planet she got that ass from when she made her return.
boop indeed.
Oh, and also too, want to give a shout out to Red Velvet. We ain't forget about you, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Jaeger will never forget.
Stirring it up. You know what
I
I'm saying?
like that she has that new split kick that she does on the apron.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Wait. I wasn't like. I mean, my eyes were not completely glued to the TV. Did she do that axe kick too? The one where she does the vertical split.
Yeah. She did the axe kick. Then
Yeah.
she did the little twirl. Then she did the knee. Then she did the split.
The split. Yeah.
Yeah.
That axe kick is. It's a nice little finesse there. I like that.
It is.
I was gonna hate that this match was on here, but I'm glad that they're rotating a lot of these women's feuds.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
I mean, it's been on Dark and Elevation for the past couple of weeks. So.
And I want it more on Dynamite. I want plenty of these women's feuds on Dynamite.
I can agree with that.
Same.
All right, so I named this segment like that because this next segment, the way it is, because I am in utter confusion. The promo was amazing, but we have the number 5 ranked House of Black segment. Houseway, how are they number 5 with only one match?
Okay, now, so I think it was 2 weeks ago where I did that thumbnail and we had the rankings on there, but we never talked about the fucking rankings.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. I can't make a joke or an excuse about it whatsoever. These rankings make no fucking sense.
Just to believe. I love the promo. Yeah. I loved everything Malachi and Brody did. I love the promo. And they got their sights set on Death Triangle. I love the promo. It just threw me off that they was ranked number 5.
Yeah.
After only just beating the Varsity Blondes.
Which I don't think the Varsity Blondes were ranked.
Are the Gun Club still ranked?
I thought they were number 1 ranked until Private Party said that they were number 1.
Wasn't the Acclaim number 1 for a minute? Like,
I thought so too.
And then they lost to Sting and Darby.
Oh, and speaking of, how long has Red Velvet been number 1 ranked?
That's a great question.
Let me go back maybe like a couple weeks because I think
that's when the last time. Since Layla Hirsch, Jaeger, since Layla Hirsch get that W, what is that?
Reminded me.
That's what I was thinking of that too. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, yeah, Acclaim wasn't on. I mean, no, so Acclaim's number 1. Varsity Blondes were not on there at all. They hadn't beat anybody that was in the top 5. Red Velvet 2 weeks ago was at number 5. Let me go back to last week. Yes, okay, so Red Velvet was at number 3 last week. Varsity Blondes were at 4 last week. And then if we shot it to this week, as of 7 hours ago. Yep. So Layla Hirsch is at 2. Red Velvet at 1.
Even though she just took it now?
No,
Oh, 7 hours ago.
7 hours ago.
Before the event, yeah.
Acclaimed at 3. The Ass Brothers at 2.
Ass boys.
Ass boys.
We'll find the Ass Boys. Ass Boys at 2. Private Party at 1. FTR at 4. And House of Black at 5.
Like the meme says, confusion intensifies.
I mean, what's up, Anna J at number 5? Go ahead.
Confusion.
Oh, Serena Deeb at 3 though.
Huh.
That's deserved.
All right. So another segment you can tell was meant to fill air. We get Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, basically gloating. Like, let's just call it what it was. I thought she was going to get interrupted by someone.
I thought she was too. And again,
I don't know who that someone was going to be.
I know who that someone was supposed to be because it would have set up a nice little feud.
What do you think?
I thought Johnny Wrestling was going to pop up during the beatdown on Punk.
Okay.
Because they kept running down Cleveland. But then when Britt Baker came out and she was running down Cleveland like heavily, I was like, yo, somebody has to come and stop this. And then I was like, oh shit. What if Johnny comes out, starts talking mess to her about Cleveland and everything like that, and then it sets up a whole thing with him and Cole. But then that was wishful thinking, and I was like, nah, that's too good and too soon. So yeah. But it was a little long, but I'm not mad at it because she did not miss a beat. Fans were on her ass
and she
with
was
this
still
shit,
going.
and she was going like they weren't even saying shit. And that's a testament to, again, that whole most improved is well deserved because man, and that's not a bias. That's not a bias because she fucks with the she fucks with the squad. That's
with the squad.
That's because she handles business.
Literally.
I'm just saying, man. It's just like you can't, man. DMD for real.
And
DMD for real.
Just to tell y'all how much we truly as Tag fuck with Dr. Baker. Not to say that we're choosing one over the other. Dr. Britt Baker, we had a mission to go see her at Comic Palooza. We had a mission. We didn't even worry about Christian Cage.
He was there.
That was cool.
He was right next to her too, but I mean,
next to her. We had the mission to go see Dr. Baker, DMD. That lets you know how much we really fucks with the good doctor.
Yep. And then she did in turn return the favor.
Yes. So I guess with this going forward, who we think do we think Statlander's gonna be her next challenge? Do we think no, because she got to deal with Layla Hirsch first. So who do we think is gonna be next up for Dr. Baker?
Wait, Anna J has had her match with Britt Baker.
And plus, she recently just came off that TBS championship loss too. So and this is going to suck. But hell, the rankings already screwed up anyway, so they can go ahead and reroute this shit. I think they need to start building up, which I think this is why they're having a lot more people wrestle on Dynamite. Mm-hmm.
They need to start bringing more people in to wrestle. I would probably give her 2 more challenges before she goes up against Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
Which, because she didn't come out with...
That's not her nickname, sir.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Tootsie Rosa.
There you go.
Since she didn't come out with Reba Not Rebel, or Reba Rebel Reba, and she didn't come out with Jamie Hayter, I think we might end up getting Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker in between that and then one other person. So
I can see that.
Now who that other person is going to be, I don't know. It could be Statlander, but that may be the only one that may work because they haven't had a one-on-one since a while.
Yeah.
And I think with they're still fresh on this whole feud that's going on with.
Well, if Layla Hirsch perseveres, then she could end up being the one to challenge Baker.
True. That is true.
She was the one that gave Britt Baker a nice little run for her money when they had their match. So that would be nice.
I mean, thinking about it though, that does kind of form a trend with how Baker likes to have rematches with people. Like she did that with Velvet already. If she does it with her, she's gonna kind of be following a pattern.
Yeah.
Well, and this is also the issue with the whole them not, no pun intended, elevating some of the women. Because you got to think there aren't too many women Baker hasn't fought other than Jade.
Yeah.
And Jamie Hayter.
I mean,
Swole, this could have been your moment, Swole. You could have came in. You could have had a championship match.
That would have been another rematch.
No, but it would have been fine though because it wasn't for the title. And I think that's why it works out for her and Statlander now, because at least this would make sense storyline purposes. So I think it would be better for her to do Statlander and then Jamie Hayter and then Thunder Rosa after Thunder Rosa finishes up with Mercedes Martinez.
Has she fought Nyla Rose yet?
Britt Baker?
Yeah.
In one of the tournaments, I believe.
Okay.
It was that damn, what tournament was that?
Was it number one contenders?
No, it was that the tournament that they had where they had it both in America and in Japan.
Yeah, okay.
And she faced Nyla Rose then.
Okay.
But that wasn't for the title though.
True. All right. And speaking of Nyla, she interrupts to come out and basically says she wants a match with Ruby Soho. That Ruby Soho is the reason why she's not TBS champion. So she wants all the smoke with Ruby. So thoughts on this before we get to the main event?
Fantastic promo by Nyla Rose, mainly because she didn't just it's a promo that made sense because she didn't just go and say, you know what, I want to get a TBS shot. She's like, nope, Ruby Soho fucked that up. It's like, on any other day, 99 times out of 100, or if we wrestled 100 times, I would have won 99 of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a fluke victory. I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to see the match again, but this made me want to see it, and I'm okay with it. So yeah.
All right, Jaeger, anything to add?
To be honest, I was like fast forwarding because I was a little behind, so I kind of skipped this promo.
I mean, it happened so fast. So
yeah,
it did. It happened so fast. Next up, I'm gonna say what it is for what it is. Mm-hmm. This was a cop out of a main event. I said it. But we had Adam Cole versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy in a lights out match. And the reason why I'm calling it a cop out is because it doesn't count towards Adam Cole losing.
Yeah.
Well, you know that he's gonna mention that when he cuts the promo.
They're gonna mention it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't forget, remember they pulled the same shit in NXT with Cole and O'Reilly. At the end of the day, O'Reilly, you beat me, but it didn't matter. So beat me for real, then we'll see. It wasn't a bad match. It was some spots that I was kind of like, because like when they went backstage, it was like, why?
To use a table, clearly.
You're right. To use a table.
And to cause some property damage.
Yeah.
That poor 32-inch TV, you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve that. But the ending threw me off.
The ending was fucking trash. I'm gonna let everybody know that right now.
The fact that how he quote unquote bugged Adam Cole.
And see, look, here's the thing about it too, because I'm sitting there looking at this match like, oh man, okay, wait, Cornette gonna say something about this shit. all right, Cornette gonna say something about that shit. And then I seen that hug spot, and I'm like,
oh no,
stop giving Cornette reasons to shit on pockets.
Yes,
and
stop giving her reason to shit on pockets.
Because as I was watching this match, I was hoping that we wouldn't get any Cassidy-isms, and I felt that they kept it to a minimum, to a very nice minimum, because they pretty much had him serious, and I was like, all right, from now on we need to start getting more of this Cassidy and less of the cheeky, like the whole persona is cool, but at the end of the day, there has to be a point where it's like, you know what? All right, let's just go ahead and start doing this shit. And I like the fact that he was fired up and he took this match a lot more seriously. Now, of course, when he started doing his isms close to the end of the match, then I was like, well, fuck, you just couldn't not do it.
You couldn't help yourself,
because I feel like the match kind of ramped up the moment that you seen him get fired up, and then he did the orange punch, and I was like, yo. And then when he did that fucking Panama Sunrise, I was like, that's one of the best Panama Sunrises I've seen.
Right.
And it probably because Cole was the one that was getting it delivered to him, because he can sell it.
I didn't care for the Best Friends and Bucks and Red Dragon interfering. I didn't care.
Didn't need it.
Well, to be fair, I thought that was where we were going to get Gargano.
I thought that too for a second, because I was like,
I kind of did too. I thought Gargano would have been the reason why Cole would have lost the match.
Mm-hmm.
So that way they could have moved on from this. But
from Cassidy, yeah.
I don't know if this feud is over with.
I don't think it is. I think mainly because of what Yeager said, with the whole, being unsanctioned, and then he's going to recycle some of his talking points that he did in NXT. So yeah, but I think this would have been a nice putting a bow on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because there's still more story to go on with this whole Red Dragon and Young Bucks thing with Cole in the middle, that they need that buffer of the Best Friends to kind of keep that feud on both ends, where you have Roppongi Vice and Bucks, and then you have Orange and Cole, and then at the same time Statlander and Baker. You kind of have that kind of being that cushion for the storyline over on that way. They can kind of stretch it out to wherever they need to get the climax of this shit to go. So, I mean, necessary evil in my book.
Now, I was going to say this for tomorrow, but we got other stuff to talk about tomorrow too. Thoughts on the running story that Adam Cole's stock has dropped since he joined AEW?
No,
that's been a running story now, that a lot of people think that Cole's stock dropped since he's been in AEW, that he's not the guy he used to be back when he was in NXT and whatnot.
I mean, I understand where that talking point comes from, because I get it. I mean, anytime somebody's favorite person isn't where they think that they should be, everybody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, they're here, they're here." But at the same time, you have a lot of people can't separate NXT and AEW. They see Cole on one thing under the same name, and then going to another banner, and they're like, okay, he needs to be at the top of the card because we saw him at the top of the card here. It doesn't work like that. You talking about somebody that was from one book into another book at the beginning of the fucking chapter. That makes no fucking sense to put them at the top of the card like that. It just and I can see what they're doing. Like they're building shit to somewhere. And so this is where I'll say, the whole, Triple H thing, just wait and see.
Yeah.
Trust the story and stuff like that. And I know that's like a cop-out response, but at the same time, it's like, what do you really expect? You have him coming from the top of the card in one company, going to an already established storylines in a new company where it's like, you're not going to shotgun him. I mean, hell, and you know what? I see what it is. But at the same time, you still can't compare, because what it is they see Bryan Danielson and they see how he's being treated, and they think that Adam Cole should be in the same thing. But at the same time, you have to look at the longevity between the two. Bryan Danielson is pretty much legit indie wrestling Hall of Famer, period. And that's not to say that Adam Cole isn't, but you got to think about the time that Bryan Danielson has put in over the years, period, to where they can look at him, like, Tetsuya Naito.
Mm-hmm.
And they can say, okay, I can see why this person is on this end and XYZ. Cole, yeah, good, no problem there. But you got to put Cole in the same vein as like Kenny Omega at this point, and even on a lesser extent because of the fact that two different things going on here. So I understand where they're coming from, but you kind of got to just wait because you can't put him on everybody's fucking level, at least not yet. Because he's not doing what Bryan Danielson's doing.
Jaeger, you got something to add to that?
No. Cole's still got plenty of years left. I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, kind of unlike Danielson. But Cole has plenty of time to gain more notoriety. There's still plenty of matches that Cole can have with plenty of people, and with the Forbidden Door being a revolving one as it is right now, I mean, you could see whoever show up, like as far as potential matches for him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like to your point about him comparing him to Danielson, you just currently can't.
Yeah.
But for the fans that are like diehard fans of Adam Cole, they're screaming out "Adam Cole, baby!" every time he throws his arms up. I get it. I'd like to see him getting more of a push, but look, time will come for that. Right now, he's having fun. They're doing the narrative. They're doing the story. I'm pretty sure that they're just doing the filler arc, as we've mentioned before, where we're waiting for Kenny to come back. And as soon as Kenny comes back, watch, the story's going to get a lot more thicker.
And then let's really call it what it was. They were big fishes in that small pond in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you wasn't going to get Adam Cole to come into AEW in the same night with Danielson and just shoot Cole to the top.
Yeah.
That would have been the most unfair shit ever.
Oh, yeah.
So,
like the people that scream nepotism for the Bucks and Cody right now, talking about, they just want to wrestle with their friends. Imagine if Cole had gotten the chances that Danielson had gotten already.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have been hearing echoes even now about that shit.
Yeah, and on top of that, you got to understand, and I can understand even from the Cornette's perspective when you talk about how, because he said that they're booking Cole wrong, and I don't think that's the case. I think that's an old school mindset that they used to do. WWE, WCW, TNA, a lot of them did that where they would take a new signee and push them to the top of the card. TNA did it with Kurt Angle, with Christian Cage, Jeff Hardy. WCW did the shit with Bret Hart. Anybody that came from WWE at the time, shot them to the top of the card. And what they did is they became a flavor of the month. And then after that, they fizzled out. And then after that, you can't think of anything that happened after they first came to the company, because that's all that was the hot thing, is to strike while it was hot, and then get your money, and then go on to the next thing. AEW is doing it way better, where you get more out of this, and then you can see something happen down the line, as opposed to just because they'll get that pop. They'll get that pop initially, and then they put the work into where it actually makes sense. Look at Bryan Danielson. Look at Miro. You see these guys that came in, and nobody's sitting there saying, "Oh, these guys fizzled out." They're saying, "Yo, where's this match with Bryan Danielson? Where the fuck is Miro?" And just so on and so forth. Which, where the fuck is Miro? But anyway.
On vacation with
Here, put the question out. Put the question right now out there, though. If Cole isn't feuding with Orange Cassidy at the moment, who would he be feuding with?
I mean, we speculated the whole trios titles, but that didn't fucking happen. At this point, I mean, I think if Kenny wasn't hurt, they would probably pull the trigger on that.
Red Dragon Paragon versus the Elite.
Or if not, then I think they probably would have had him do something probably with the TNT title. But I think it would have been a whole bunch of, I don't want to say nothing feuds. I think they would have just kind of run him through the gauntlet and just had him just wrestle and feud with different people here and there. And until things were ready for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, at this point, because they have so many people and so many feuds going on, it's hard to slot Cole in somewhere that's going to make any sense right now. So yeah, I think they really wanted to do the whole Paragon versus the Elite thing because everything is so fresh right now with them. It makes sense, and that would have kind of got them to where they needed to go next. But yeah.
All right, so I mean that basically wraps up. I would say basically give it time, peeps. Like Cole ain't lost his star power. Like give it time. I mean, he jumped into a new company with a bunch of stars.
Yeah.
Like give it time, peeps. But all in all, that was Dynamite Beach Break. I mean, overall, it wasn't a bad show to me.
No.
I thoroughly enjoyed the ladder match, and I enjoyed what they did with Inner Circle, Garcia and 2.0. I enjoyed bits of the Cole and Cassidy match. CM Punk and MJF had their little highlights. Like I said, I definitely love the Black and King segment, but you know, Beach Break. Overall.
Beach break. I'm see, look, thinking about Jaeger's Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for rocking with us. You know, it's good to see the and you know what? It's apropos that this is happening. It's taking a word from Dizzle because he's wearing a fucking Triforce beanie.
Oh, that's
so it's apropos.
That's very apropos.
Three of us are back together. The Triforce of the IWC.
Damn, see, I was sitting there saying like the tripod and shit, but I'm like, yo, the Triforce makes so much more sense.
Can't take it. I don't care who has it. We have it now.
That's
Triforce
true.
of the IWC.
Look, death comes in threes, and we will deliver said death.
But thank y'all for rocking with us. Of course, whether you loved it or hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Preferably the thumbs up. Preferably 2 thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Comment below. Let us know what you think about Beach Break. Let us know what you think about Adam Cole, Moxley, whomever. Let us know below. We interact. We be in them chats.
It's true.
We interact with you. But the most important thing you can do, is subscribe. We dropping videos regular. My dumb ass is still watching Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, giving y'all reviews. You know, I hope to give a review on GCW show they had this past weekend because I heard it was bonkers as hell. I watched the pre-show, but not the regular show yet. But I'm hope to give y'all the little hot tag on GCW's The World on GCW because it's my first time watching GCW and I've been seeing a lot of clips from that show. So hopefully sometime this week you will get a hot tag on that. Tune in to tomorrow. We'll tag me in because we got some topics and we got Royal Rumble predictions. Hopefully, Night 097 be with us to give his Rumble predictions as well. Spoiler alert, I don't know who the fuck gonna win the Rumbles, but I'm gonna still guess it. I don't know who the fuck gonna win them damn Rumbles. I ain't lying.
We'll figure it out.
But you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for rocking with us. You know, most importantly, thank y'all for being patient. Because, you know, people's schedules change. People's lives go in different directions, work schedule. And we're going to just bring y'all content when we can. We're going to try to keep it regular. We're going to try to keep giving you Raw reviews. Because I watch 3 hours of Raw, so you don't have to. We're going to keep NXT 2.0 reviews. You know, Vengeance Day is coming up in February. We're going to keep giving y'all Dynamite. Keep giving y'all tag me ins. Hot tags. We'll eventually get back to tier lists.
Yeah, I'm working on them. Just be patient, people.
We got y'all. We got y'all. You know do. Like I said, the most important thing you can do is subscribe. because that way you know when you get all this fire ass content from the Triforce of the IWC.
That's right. Damn, that
That's our
sounds
new
so
name.
good.
That's our
Damn,
new
that
name
sounds
now.
so good. I love it.
It's happening.
that's a thing now.
We graduated from the Triple Threat Brain Trust. It's now with the Triforce of the IWC.
I gotta get used to saying that shit now.
Yeah, deal with it.
For
Clean
sure.
that ass with that master sword, this bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was crazy. I just realized that.
This is hey, look, that's again, that's Jaeger's thing. Hitting everybody with the hitting the necessary people with the master sword.
But thank y'all for rocking with us on behalf of myself, Magic Scoot Lee, Lip Dizzle, Jaeger Bomb Bastard. Thank y'all for rocking, listening to us talk about Beach Break. And you know, since Dizzle is here, I'm gonna let him sign it off.
Oh man, I guess you know. Well, let me go ahead and warm up. It's been a while. Been a while to warm up the good old Too Sweet as I give it to my bros. Bada 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 bam.
Ugh.
And of course, until you hear these immaculate voices and see these handsome faces, we bid you all adieu. And as always, until next time, you beautiful mother effers, tag the fucketh out. All that.
Make your mama feel